Seems like if your world is being invaded by monsters, then the least of your worries would be the Taco Tuesday hoax, and definitely not to the point of obsession by the local crawl writer. One question: if this is a brother and sister playing together with their toys, are they imagining this damage to some certain extent? Or are they actually physically causing buildings of Lego glass to spontaneously explode? Wait, President Business didn't even get in trouble for his antics in the last movie?
We fought them off, but they kept returning.
Hey, why not make a movie about that? That sounds bonkers.
And always accompanied by catchy pop music.
Listen, character from the first Lego movie, you do not get to be upset about catchy pop music.
Where's Batman?
He's off having a separate standalone adventure.
Wow, even in the mind of a child, Batman is having his own standalone adventure? That's showing some discipline. And meta-joking my child mind could never comprehend. I'd have found a way to put 3 Batmans in my Justice League mission to make my sister cry. Mad Max, Lego Road. Maybe this is somehow the point, but doesn't Emmett putting on headphones make this coffee commute 100 times more dangerous and deadly to him? Don't you need your ears in Apocalypseburg? These rough dudes are fighting over the best James Bond, which is hilarious. But one of them says Sean Connery, and then another says Daniel Craig. Then a third guy comes in and says Roger Moore. And even though there are only 3 fighters, Pierce Brosnan and George Lazenby get thrown into the argument. And all I have to say is you cannot pick more than one. And besides, the best Bond ever was Idris Elba.
Fingernail. Toxin toes. Jeff.
The super long list of rattled off silly names and the gag about ending on a totally normal name have both been done to death prior to this movie.
Once I was a rebel, fighting for a righteous cause.
Movie within a child's imagination narration. Child imagination? Man, I hate to say it, but if you look up overstaying your welcome in modern dictionaries, it's a picture of Lego Batman.
I'm thinking it's more like war.
War.
Hang on.
War.
War.
No, war.
Movie has way more time for this than I do.
We've never seen anything like this.
What? You got invaded by aliens for 5 years. You'd never seen anything like any of that. Why would you say this right now about this thing?
Super aggro turbo engine.
Super safe taillight and blinker.
I know this is supposed to be same old Emmett and all, and it's funny that he's putting all the non-essential gear on this car, but didn't he become a master builder at the end of the first movie? Wouldn't this life and death situation inspire more lethal assembly? The movie rips off the Fast and Furious and the Transformer movies in one skyscraper bullshit scene, and that's almost impressive enough to warrant a sin removed. I said almost. Good thing you're a master builder, and that house was made of Legos, right? I mean, can you imagine? Wait, why are you sad?
I need angry thoughts, angry thoughts!
You do? Unikitty's been so angry for this whole movie, I barely remember the character who was so sweet that she suppressed her rage in the first one.
People put raisins in stuff.
It was perfectly fine without reason!
Movie steals my daily mantra, and I am suddenly shook. Not so shook I can't still sin the movie for stealing my thoughts, but still shookish.
The door is slowly closing.
Good thing the door is closing so slowly and dramatically.
Is it just me, or is the meta humor dialed up 25% more than the first movie? Eva!
Oh, the pain. It's getting so cold.
Skip!
How many movies have they made about you? Because there are like 9 about me.
Flick measuring contest?
So you fought and master built and kicked butt, and then the hapless male was the leader.
Movie where sinning would be excellent at CinemaSins.
And that Emmett isn't changing with the times and lacks a killer instinct and in general just isn't tough enough?
Not tough enough?
How is Emmett surprised and or crushed by this realization? How does he not already know his own lack of toughness? During this moment where the movie reminds you that kids are coming up with the plot, Finn informs his sister that he's in the middle of a story with time travel and plot twists. But how are they using the same characters in competing storylines?
You're a total Hufflepuff.
Using Hufflepuff as an insult.
Who's coming with me?
Hilarious, except they were just mad at him for the super friends getting kidnapped by an alien robot, but they're unwilling to try and help rescue those people? This movie wants everyone to be anti-Emmett, and in the service of that, it makes everyone anti-Logic for a bit.
Hang on to your fronts, Planny.
Discount Groot.
We're going to save Lucy.
It's space though, man. Even if I believe you know enough about space travel to build a spacecraft that works, how the do you know where to go? This star system is kind of ripping off those coexist bumper stickers.
Please be quiet. I'm trying to make a majestic landing.
They are prisoners though, right? Why are you just letting them roam the ship, free to cram into your personal space here and ruin your majestic landing?
Are we in a musical?
I sure as hope not. Oh, me sideways. This is where Emmett and Star-Lord combine with the guy Chris Pratt played in Passengers. Jim Preston, for those of you who haven't seen it 20 times like me, to totally Pratt this movie to death. I'm surprised I'm not hearing Come and Get Your Love right now, underscored by the John Williams Jurassic Park score that piece of Fallen World put in a minor key to try and be dark and edgy. Let me guess, this spaceman ex machina is actually going to turn out evil, much like Ego did in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And they're going through a stairgate, but this guy isn't voiced by Kurt Russell, which is disappointing in a movie as meta as this. I don't know what the sin is, really, other than this scene reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Stargate. And when Chris Pratt does the voice of this character, I think he's doing a Kurt Russell impersonation, but it. Here's a sin till I figure out how I feel.
You mind if I save your life?
This movie ex machina is every 3 minutes. It's borderline harassment. We won't play the music during this sin, but the sin is Motley Crue. No one will be seated during the yellow submarine portion of the movie. Haha, these raptors talk in extremely worn-out office worker cliches. How delightful.
The isolation, intense.
And to think, if this household just had cats, Dude Man here would have been rescued from under the dryer in mere minutes. Also, holy in my house growing up, we cleaned weekly, and my brother and I both had jobs, and if we missed something this close to the edge of the under the dryer area, we'd have gotten spanked. Literally no one in this family even looks under the dryer for ages.
No one's tied down this Batman forever.
Ooh, reference.
I feel like somebody could say, ooh, reference through half of this movie, and it would be apt.
What was that?
I said,
General Mayhem believes this.
I like to talk about feelings and how we're in love, but can't be together.
Holy the references in this film are beginning to sound like something out of epic movie, or in this case, and dare I say it, vampires suck. And I like this movie way more than those, but what a horrible feeling.
look, if I pop it off, am I Bruce Willis now?
I don't think so.
This movie is so filled with references. When I saw Bruce Willis in the hot tub with something red in his hand, I thought it was some vague Color of Night parody. This movie has all the heroes doubting Lucy's toughness because her hair got pretty, and that is definitely racist.
I sat in the mirror years ago in shame and took a permanent marker and hair by hair just, recolored it. I mean,
It's kind of funny to me that since this is Bianca in control of the narrative, she knows the entire backstory that Finn gave Wildstyle and is acting out the characters with no discernible difference.
Right. Plan that.
I get the sense that these raptors were a lot more hilarious on paper than they actually are in the film.
Why didn't you come back for us?
Not that it's any of my business, but where the hell was Superman hiding Green Lantern just now? I can't play the music, but this song goes, this song's gonna get stuck inside your, this song's gonna get stuck inside your, this song's gonna get stuck inside your head. And that's not as funny as the movie thinks it is, while still being all the annoying that the movie knows it is. Her jumping up to the top bar of the EQ meters is pretty clever. Should we give it a sit off? Nah, probably not. Funny, but are these vents soundproof?
Crack that pain bone open and suck out the marrow.
Don't make a college girlfriend joke. Don't make a college girlfriend joke. Don't make a college girlfriend joke.
Emmett?
I may be harping on this too much, but since Emmett and Rex are in Finn's story, how does Bianca integrate Wildstyle into it from the story she's making up? The behind-the-scenes story is that the brother and sister aren't getting along, correct?
Batman is a permanent bachelor.
I am so confused by the brainwashing song. Does it wear off? If it wears off, why hasn't he desparkled or dumped the white cape? How can you brainwash everyone as a plot device to let Emmett and Wildstyle save the day, but then pretend it didn't take with Batman so he could be a plot device that stalls the proceedings to give time to Emmett and Wildstyle? And yes, they eventually say no one was brainwashed, but everyone was acting pretty fucking brainwashed, so I reject that.
Oh great, more singing right on time.
The decision to make Lego Movie 2 more of a musical was about as good a choice as The Milk was in Anchorman.
So what, you dig Superman? I don't care. But listen up. You're clearly just confused.
Is this epic rap battles now?
I used to wear tights. Ask Adam West.
How the does Bianca know who Adam West is?
A toaster!
A toaster?
Just trust me.
Nope, they all died. This animation is a lie. This is a projected building schematic. It cannot do the things Emmett narrates on the fucking fly.
Hey guys.
The Bruce Willis cameo gag was meh at first, kind of funny when Wildstyle bumped into him, and at this point I'm just ready to say it's worn me down. One sin removed. But add that sin right back for Bruce Willis trying harder in this animated movie than he has for either of the last two Die Hard films.
We've been expecting you.
If you knew Wildstyle was here the whole time, why didn't you just go ahead and kill her? Yes, acknowledgement that this is all playing out in a child's brain, so this movie for making me sin children's brains. How the did Rex know that Wonder Woman's invisible plane was going to be here when he jumped? Also, while I love this gag, I never pegged Wonder Woman as someone who would show up this late to a wedding ceremony, especially since she's one of the many characters who have been brainwashed since coming to the Sistar system.
I left my lasso in there.
Was your lasso invisible too?
I like you the way you were. Sweet, innocent, kind.
Nuclear skip. Boy, first Star-Lord, then Emmett. Is Chris Pratt intentionally playing characters that sabotage the hero's plan at the last minute? Finn dropped Emmett and is frantically looking for him, but considering that this is the cleanest damn floor ever, and there are several places he could have fallen under, why didn't he check under everywhere, including the dryer? He seems to be focusing his entire search in the middle of the room.
And then I saw a way to undo all the...
Christ, he's been narrating this reveal flashback for forever.
This time travel stuff's always kind of confusing. It's best just to go with it.
I will not.
What exactly is Armageddon?
It's apparently something that Bianca knew would happen if she stole Finn's toys, and he'd be angry about it, causing destruction that would lead to their mom banning them from playing Legos, and yet she did it anyway, because despite the ridiculous wealth of knowledge and pop culture references in her head, she's still just 9 years old, and does stupid she knows will get her into trouble.
I need
I think every movie could use more Maya Rudolph, but making her go through her Sideshow Bob Stepson Rakes impersonation is not the best representation of her talent. Man, this might be the fakest Photoshop of a good time since that time I inserted myself into a 1969 Woodstock photo wearing a Gap shirt and an iPhone hanging out of my back pocket. Although, interesting note, the Gap opened a mere 3 days after the Woodstock Festival, but it was still a glaring anachronism. Ah! No! No! No, 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 no!
No, but...
She f***ing didn't hear as these Legos get put in Rubbermaid bins and stored away. I'm left to wonder if this movie has anything to say that hasn't already been better covered by one of the Toy Story movies. Movie borrows the obviously fake ending from Vice. Oh man, Finn is in such trouble for this act of kindness. Mom said the Legos go in storage, so f*** your olive branch.
My friends are coming to rescue me, and you can't stop them.
How the f*** do you know this, dude? Also, classic reversal of the villain tells the hero his plan cliche. Nyan Cat.
This isn't even happening. It's all just the expression of the death of imagination in the subconscious of an adolescent.
I would be willing to accept this explanation of the entire Rex Emmett story if several things in this movie didn't happen that contradict it. We have this scene where Finn explains he's working through a storyline involving time travel, and there's this shot of the Lego spaceship that the movie makes a point to show Finn controlling with a string. Sure, I can allow fantasy, reality, and metaphor to coexist in a movie, but it's difficult when those things undermine established facts.
Goodbye!
Lego Movie 2, Ant-Man and the Downsizing.
You're never going to turn out like me, which means I'm never going to exist.
The space-time continuum allows Rex to realize this before actually disappearing, which is an awesome gift the space-time continuum rarely grants. Well, I told them never to play Legos again, but as long as they're happy, I guess I'll allow it. There's no way they'll ever fight again. I'm such a good mom.
I missed the gimme putt for birdie on 7.
How is President Business still facing no consequences for his actions in the first movie? This movie has over 13 minutes of credits. Yikes.
Come play with us, Daddy.
Can you do that for me?
Well, yeah, I can try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Must go faster.
Do you like eating in here?
You wanna know the truth? I don't think I've ever been in this room before.
But anger was the key to my freedom.
Because I will go Pompeii on your butt.
You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.